Nice, Faith. Way to go. You made it. Welcome. Hello. Welcome. I always like to get on a couple minutes early so I can try and get these questions in. Um, let's see. Hey, Abby. Hey, Sarah. Crack coal. Second. Nice. Oh, wow. We get a lot of. Oh, hey, RJ. I was like, NRG crack coal. Who is that? Anyway, welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm feeling pretty safe. I hope everyone else is. Let's see. That's all right. No worries. Yeah, you gotta sleep. Funny note on sleep here in a minute. I'm still writing these up. Ooh. Oh, that's sick. Nice work, Josh. Okay, so hold on 1 second. I gotta set this up. And we got 7 people on here today. Shoot. Yes, Lindsay, you can send me something. I'm always down for that. I got a lot planned for today, you guys. I'm excited. Hold on. While I'm typing this out, what is your favorite song that you are listening to right now? I mean, not currently right now, but what's your favorite song at the moment or favorite artist? Let's do favorite song. Cool. All the questions are in. While you're sending me your favorite song, I have a couple. I have a couple things. First off, sleep. I'm glad I hope you all are getting sleep. Sleep is your body's natural way of. I don't know. I feel like it's really. I was telling Emily that I feel weird because I'm sleeping so much. Like we've been going to bed relatively late, between 11, 11:30, 12, something like that. Just because we've been watching Marvel movies. We've been going through all the Marvel movies, and I think we're on like the 7th one. But we're watching them in like not the order that they came out, but like the chronological order of timeline. And but your sleep is your like body's way of not your body's way of coping, but like getting enough sleep in this time is really really important, just because we're dealing with a lot of new, and we're dealing with a lot of dealing with different stressors than we're normally used to, so we like need to be getting that sleep. Anyway, goodness, lots of comments to catch up on. Hold on a second. Okay. Can we Zoom tonight? I think so. I don't have anything going on. We could probably do that tonight if it works for most people. We could either do it on we could do it tonight, or we could do it. Yeah, tonight might be a good night. I'll think about that and I'll let you know. If we do it, it'll be around kind of what we did last time, maybe like a 7 o'clock, 7:30. We can hang out for a little bit. Faith, you need to get more sleep. need to try and sleep as best you can. Abby, I like the song "Shut Up and Fish" by Maddie and Tay. That's funny. That sounds like a fun song. I love Upper Room because I don't have a favorite song. Oh, okay. Upper Room is really, really good. Upper Room is a church. Their main campus is in Houston. Houston or Austin? Houston. Dallas. Thank you. It's in Dallas. And they also have another campus in Denver, and Emily and I love to listen to them. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Dallas. And yeah, they just have a lot of really, really good stuff. I like how they do things a bit more spontaneously. They have like scripted songs, or like they sing along to things, but like, I mean, not everything they do is spontaneous, but they sometimes add spontaneous worship on top of other songs. And if you don't know what I mean by spontaneous worship, then you should go watch some of their stuff. It's really good. Anyway, that's a good song. My Lighthouse. That is a good song. I enjoy that song. Very upbeat, very fun. I am fine, but we will have to do it later. Yeah, okay. Yeah, for the Zoom meeting. Yeah, we're gonna do it later. Faith, I also love BTS, but yeah, I know you. I still haven't checked out BTS yet. I want to, because I mean they have a very big fan base, and I want to see what all the craze is about. See what they're like. Oh, the thing that you sent me is something that you made. Nice, very cool. I'll have to listen to. Can I listen to that when I have the time? I'll listen to that when we're off of this. But man, my nose itches. Goodness. Sarah, what did you do this morning? Did you hang out with your goats? While she's answering that. Man, I am feeling good. I got my coffee, and you made 3 TikTok dances. Oh my gosh, very good. I have a cookie because Emily made cookies the other night, and they are incredible, and I love cookies. So I'm just ready to roll. I'm ready to dive into this thing. Very good. So before we get started, I don't want to drag all these things out too long, but I have a fun game for you if you're willing to play. This is a straight up guessing game. Behind my computer currently is a bowl, and the bowl currently has 2 food items in it. If you can guess one of the items, you only get one guess. If you can guess one of the items, I will give you $5. And if you guess both of the items, I will give you $20. All right? No joke. I'm totally serious about this. So if you can guess what one of the food items is, I'll give you $5. And if you can guess both, I'll give you 20. It sounded creepy, you say? Oh, it's funny. So, Sarah, in case you didn't hear, behind this computer is a bowl with 2 food items in it, and if you can guess one of them, I'll give you $5, and if you can guess both, I'll give you 20. So guess what the 2 food items are. Lindsay says apple and banana. What do you guys say? What does everyone else say? Gotta think real hard about this one. Creamer and a cookie. Interesting guess, but we'll see. 2 food items. Cookies and apple. You gotta think outside the box a little bit, but that's okay. This will be a food and a drink. Nice. I mean, technically it is. I said they are food items, but it doesn't count. Soda and water. No, it's in a bowl, not in a cup. I have a bowl of soda just chilling on my dining room table. Good. Anyway, I just wanted to. I'll reveal the mystery items. This vision of a bowl on your table of just like soup and salad in the same bowl. Just oh, that's good. Or unless it was partitioned, if there was a divider down the middle and you had soup on one side and salad, that would be the ideal bowl. Oh man. Gosh dang it, Sarah. Now I want Olive Garden. Oh, they're breadsticks. Anyway. Oh, that's good. All right. Well, I think consensus is we're doing okay. Yeah, are we doing all right? We're hanging in there. Got 7 people on today, which is awesome. I think that's more than we've had in a while, which is cool. So without further ado, let's dive in. Again, I'll reveal those 2 items at the end of the adventure, so stick around. And we'll do that. So at the very top, you can see that our scripture is Psalm 73, verse 26. So if you'll open up to the middle of your Bibles and try and find Psalms, pretty easy to find, but it's a long book, so you got to get to the right chapter. It's 73, Psalm 73. Looks like I have no arms. I'm an armless torso. Just kidding. No arms. Psalm 73, verse 26. Are you there yet? Also, make sure to have something to write with and something to write on if you do not have that. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a tissue. Heavens. Oops. Cool. You found it. Now you're just waiting on me. All right, here we go. So that one verse, as you can see, is 73:26 says, "My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever." My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Good. Now what I'm going to do with this passage, as I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of just reading one solitary verse and just like riffing on it, or like, obviously, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his one and only son. Like that's one verse that you could do a lot with, but even then, like it means so much more in context, right? So I want us to answer the first question that I put on here, or that's provided for us rather, and then I want to go back and read the whole chapter. It's not super long. It's 28 verses, and it's really really good because I think it's pretty interesting to see like this whole chapter is one thought, right? He sat down and he wrote. I don't know if he wrote just this chapter at one time or what, but this whole thing is one thought. So to just pick out something in the middle of that thought and be like, what do you think about this? Like, how did the writer get here? How did he get to the place where he could just say, my health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Those are great words, but we don't understand entirely what they mean yet. So, but just again, brief glance observation of the passage. What changes when you have a relationship with God? And what thing will never change no matter what happens? So looking at the passage, just answering those two questions. It spells it out right in the passage. What changes when you have a relationship with God? Wait. Yeah. Or maybe what may change when you have a relationship with God, and what thing never changes no matter what happens. Did I type that out right? What changes when you have a relationship with God? Yep. And what thing will never change no matter what? So go ahead and write it down. Look at the passage. Think about it. Write it down. Type it out if you want. Yum. So a cookie. Probably not a good time to eat. No, just watch me munch. Munch, 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 munch. Now I want milk. Anyway, so what changes or what may change? My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak. So, my health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. So what may change? Nice. Some of you were eating with me. Abby said, your kindness and way of life can change. That is absolutely true, Abby. Also, Sarah, I'm glad I make you laugh. But yeah, I keep having to reference the question. So what changes? Your health may change. Your strength may change. As we get older, those things will change. But what will never change is that God will remain our strength. He is our strength. He is the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. So he will never stop being your strength of heart, and he will never stop being yours. And you will never stop being his, right? So just looking at the passage, that's what they're getting at here. So let's go ahead and turn to the beginning of the chapter, and let's read this through together. All right. My gosh. Anyway. All right. So Psalm 73. I can't really give you much like context for this, just because they're all individual thoughts, but like the chapter itself is context enough. So let's just read. Said, truly, God is good to Israel, to those whose hearts are pure. But as for me, I almost lost my footing. My feet were slipping, and I was almost gone. For I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. He's talking about, I almost lost my footing because I envied the proud. I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. They seem to live such painless lives. Their bodies are so healthy and strong. They don't have troubles like other people. They're not plagued with problems like everyone else. They wear pride like a jeweled necklace and clothe themselves with cruelty. um, I wanted to see what another translation had to say here. This is verse 7. What? No, I don't want this. Wait, 73, verse 7. Yeah. I like the NLT because it says in verse 7, these fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. Straight up calling them fat cats. Oh, man. The ESV says their eyes swell out through their fatness. Their hearts overflow with follies. So kind of get a picture there. But yes, these fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. They scoff and speak only evil. In their pride, they seek to crush others. They boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth. And so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. What does God know? They ask. This is the prideful. What does God know? They ask. Does the Most High even know what's happening? And then that was end quote. Look at these wicked people enjoying a life of ease while their riches multiply. Did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? So pause here for a second. It's easy to kind of get lost in all the words here. So I want to, before we move on to this next little section, I want to just kind of recap what's happening here, right? So this guy looks at the proud, right? He looks at those who have it all. He looks to those who, they seem to be on top. They seem to have everything they want. And yet they are cruel people. They are not good people, I guess. At least in his eyes. They're not, they're prideful, and they wear their pride on their sleeve. And it says, man, they just don't have the same problems that I do. They don't seem to suffer. They seem to have everything they want, and yet they boast and they have these perfect lives, and yet they don't follow God. Like, sometimes I think you get this sense with writers in the Old and New Testament, and also nowadays, like, if you follow God, you're going to have a good, prosperous life. If you don't follow God, then you are not going to have a prosperous life, or you're going to have a follow God, get rewarded, don't follow God, get punished, right? So that's kind of the sentiment that is sometimes thrown around. So this guy just can't understand, the writer can't understand, why is it that these people who don't follow God have so much? Like, I follow God and I don't have as much as them. So then he goes on to say, look at these wicked people enjoying a life of ease while their riches multiply. Did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? So he's like, I worked hard and I followed God and I kept myself pure. I kept myself innocent. Like, did I do that for nothing? Like, am I gonna get anything from that? I guess. Like, I don't exactly, like, I'm not exactly rich right now. At least, this person, I guess. These people are rich and they didn't follow God, and I do follow God, and I'm not experiencing the same wealth, I guess. So I hope that makes sense. Moving on. Verse 14 says, I get nothing but trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. if I had really spoken this way to, if I had, good. If I had really spoken this way to others, I would have been a traitor to your people. So I tried to understand why the wicked prosper, but what a difficult task it is. Then, so he has a turning point here. He tries to understand, why is it that the wicked still prosper here on earth? And then it says, then I went into your sanctuary, O God. And I don't know if this means a literal like temple sanctuary or maybe just like spent time with God. Like yeah, it could be either one. Let's just check. Is there a note? This time there's God's presence. Okay, so the note at the bottom here says, at this time, God's sanctuary was in the temple in Jerusalem. There, in God's presence, the psalmist receives special insight. Cool. So maybe it was in a physical place. Then I went into your sanctuary, O God. This is verse 17. And I finally understood the destiny of the wicked. Truly, you put them on a slippery path and send them sliding over the cliff to destruction. In an instant, they are destroyed, completely swept away by terrors. When you arise, O Lord, you will laugh at their silly ideas as a person laughs at dreams in the morning. You wake up from a dream in the morning, it's like, that was kind of funny, or that was kind of weird, or like, why did I even dream that, So, in the same way, the Lord, the psalmist is saying that the Lord laughs at the wisdom of the wicked, and kind of in the same way, because their wisdom isn't wisdom at all. Anyway, so verse 21 says, then I realized that my heart was bitter. He had a moment of self-realization. Then I realized that my heart was bitter and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you, to God. Yet, I like this word. This yet and but and then are two kind of transition word, or three transition words that we always need to pay attention to. Yeah. So it says, I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you, yet I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny. So even though he was acting foolish, God didn't leave him. God didn't leave him. He was still leading him to glorious destiny. So, whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. Man. Here we go. My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Those who desert him will perish, for you destroy those who abandon you. But as for me, how good it is to be near God. I have made the sovereign Lord my shelter, and I will tell everyone about the wonderful things you do. Sarah, in the Bible, I always see right, but why not left? Let's see. Where does it say right? Does it say right somewhere? Like on my right hand or something? Oh, you hold my right hand? Is that what you're talking about? Perish or destroy me. That's for me how good it is to be near God. I have made a servant of my shelter. I'll say everyone. Okay, cool. Yeah, that is a good question, Sarah. So that's the end of the chapter, and I can't tell you exactly why, but I do know that the right was typically a place of honor, and also, well, on sitting on the right was a place of honor, and also they always talk about their right hand, because you never used your left hand, and part of it was the left hand was seen as, at least from what I understand, the left hand was seen as unclean because most of the time it literally was, because, well, just straight up, didn't exactly have toilet paper back then, right? So they always used the left hand. There you go. So when you talk about like you holding a right hand, um, that's what they're talking about. So, or that's why they always reference the right hand and not the left. So, um, although the one instance that I can think of right and the left would be two disciples, James and John, the sons of thunder. They were brothers. Um, their mom came to Jesus and said, "Hey, can sons, um, my sons can my sons sit on your right and on your left, uh, in your new kingdom?" And Jesus was like, "You don't know what you're asking. You don't understand." And no, they can't. And then the disciples got all mad because they're like, "Who are you to like ask this?" Um, so I don't know. It was a whole thing. Maybe we'll talk about it some other time. But that's the only thing. That's the only reference I can think of off the top of my head where it mentions not only the right but the left, as far as being seated on your right and left. So there you go. So now that we've read that whole chapter, can you kind of see the narrative a little bit? Can you see the train of thought? Um, he has this moment of like, I was slipping because I was envious of these prideful people, but then I saw the error of my ways because the Lord revealed to me that he actually does, like, earthly riches and pleasures are nothing. They are vapor, they are mist, they are ashes in the wind. They are here for a second and then they're gone, right? There are multiple places in the Bible that talks about that, the vanity of pursuing earthly riches. So these people who seem to have it all on earth, but yet they're prideful and then they're cruel and then they're just not, like, their time will be up like really quick. And then their riches will be passed on to someone else because they don't go with you. Like, your money doesn't go with you when you die. So, like, often in the Bible, it talks about the foolishness of pursuing riches. And then you kind of said the Lord revealed the slippery path that these people are on. And then at the end, they'll be swept away to destruction. Um, and then he had this moment of realization that, like, my heart was just so bitter and I must have sounded so dumb. Like, I wanted what these people had and like, here I was being so envious of what these people had. I must have sounded so silly, but yet you were still leading me. And then he praises God, um, like, whom am I in heaven? Whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. I don't want anything else on earth. I just want you. And then it says, on this earth, my health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but you are the one. You remain my strength. You are mine forever, forever and ever. Um, so does that make more sense now? Like, I don't know. I like this verse in the grand scheme of things. So now, going back to that second question, also, any questions about that passage or anything else that stood out to you? Feel free to comment that. Um, um, hmm. The question here. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I just had a realization. So the question here is, if you scroll back up, how can God be the strength of your day and the assurance that you need? Now, just a word check for you. Hold on. So, assurance, if you're not quite sure exactly what that means, um, is this is a positive declaration intended to give confidence or a promise, um, or I think more. Hmm, maybe more applicable is assurance is confidence or a certainty in one's own abilities. Oh, maybe that's not applicable because we're not talking about our own abilities. We're talking about God's provision. But so it's a promise. It's a declaration. It's a it's confidence, right? So how can God be the strength of your day and the assurance that you need? Now, I want you to think about that, and I want you to write it down as usual, or you can type out an answer, and we'll talk about it. And then I have a thought based on something that Emily sent me this morning. So think about that for a minute. How can God be the strength of your day and the assurance that you need? And I'm not necessarily saying like, what do you do? Like, what do you do in order to get that assurance from God? I guess like because it's not all about what we do. It's about like what's the result, I guess. Like how can God be the strength of your day and the assurance that you need? Think about it. Also, we have 5 people. I don't know where those other 2 people went. It's okay. Is RJ still with us? Did RJ stay on? Sarah said, he can help you if you are having a bad time or something bad happens to you, and he will help you. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'd say that is accurate. Hmm. What else? It's kind of a difficult question. When I originally thought about doing this as an idea, like I didn't imagine it would be this interactive, like which I love that it is. I absolutely do. And you guys make that happen because you want to be in conversation and you want to like you're actively thinking about these things and you're participating. But I appreciate that a lot. So thank you. Um, I'm glad you guys want to know and want to participate. Um, Yeah, example is that he can help you if your parents are divorced or going through a divorce. I have several friends who are in that reality right now, and it is hell. Yeah, you can absolutely help us and be our strength through that. Good. So you've taken some time. You've written that down. If you want, excuse me. I want to share something with you and maybe kind of contribute to this thought. Funny how the Lord works some of these things out, or maybe, well, yeah, how he does these things. But Emily sent me something from Instagram this morning. It was a tweet by I think another youth pastor or something. And here's what it says. Listen close, all right? It's not long. It's interesting. Just because you are sad doesn't mean you are depressed. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just because you are sad doesn't mean that you are depressed. Just because you have an anxious moment doesn't mean you have anxiety. Just because you are afraid doesn't mean you are defined by your fear. Just because you feel insecure doesn't mean there is anything. Just because you feel insecure, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Don't be so quick to identify with your feelings. Choose to learn, believe, claim, and ask God to help you apply what He says about you. Pray about it. Get vulnerable and honest with God. Read about it in the Word of God. And then it just ends with love you. I find this fascinating. I mean, I agree with it 100%. How can God be the strength of your day and assurance that you need? And I think I was thinking about this more with assurance, because to be assured of something means it is you are confident in it. Like you find confidence in something that, like, I confidently say that I am this. Like, and I like how it says at the end, ask God to help you apply what He says about you. So I feel like we're so quick to identify. We put labels on ourselves. We heap labels on ourselves, right? And we do that with everything from fandoms to, like, like, oh, I'm Faith. Sorry to pick on you for a second, but like, oh, like I'm a BTS fan. Like, not a bad thing at all. But it's like we identify as that. It's like, hey, are you a BTS fan? Yeah, I am. Like, awesome. You share a connection with that person. That's great. Awesome. Not a bad thing. However, we do that often with things that are either unhealthy, that don't matter, or are just straight up untrue. So what he's talking about here is that, like, I feel like nowadays, especially, oh, was that an incomplete thought, Sarah? Um, just because you're sad doesn't mean you're depressed. We're looking for connection with other people. We're always looking for connection. And we're also looking for commiseration. All right. Commiserate being to share a burden with someone else. So, like, if you legitimately struggle with anxiety, you are looking for other people who struggle with anxiety to commiserate with. It's like, oh, like I struggle with that too, right? But then oftentimes we maybe we do that for the sake of connection. It's like, oh, like I'm going through a hard time right now. I have these like I'm depressed. So and I look for, I don't know, like do you see this at all? Do you see people like putting labels on themselves like, oh, like I have anxiety. I have anxiety too, and like you identify with that person, or um um I don't know. Sarah, what did you say? You said, I think people think they are so cool when they are in sports that it is all that on forces them on. And then Jesus is second or third or maybe fourth. Yes, I agree with that too. Yeah, sports can absolutely be a label. I'm a whatever player. I'm a whatever athlete. I'm a whatever musician. And I think, and again, not all those things are bad, but we have to really check ourselves and like what is our identity? Where do we find our identity? Where do we get our confidence? Where do we get our assurance in who we are? Where do we get, do we find our worth in the fact that we are a athlete? Or do we find our worth, or do we find connection with people in that we are a whatever person? I think um hmm, man, Lord help me. Um I don't know. I think one of the reasons, I mentioned this before, but it's always good to remind, one of the reasons why we've chosen to name this ministry ICTHUS is because of the label. It literally means Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. So the label that we put on ourselves means Jesus Christ is the Son of God who came to save everything and everyone, right? Um, yeah, devotion series about labels. I think that could be really good. Um, but this guy, the psalmist, he's finding his strength, he's finding his worth, he's finding his identity in God. It says in his desire for God, even he says, I don't want anything else on earth. I could go with nothing else. The only thing I want is you. Because he realizes that the only thing that actually matters and that brings him worth and life is God. Nothing else can do that for you. Like I was saying, the other labels that we put on ourselves, or the things that we identify with, not all of them are bad, but they can't bring you life. They can potentially bring you connection with other people. Like, oh, like I connect with these people because I'm a gamer. So like I understand video games. I connect with gamers on this level, or Dungeons and Dragons. Like I connect with other people who play that. I don't play currently, but like my brother plays it and I talk with him about it, and like um or I connect with other drummers. I've been drumming all my life mostly, and so I connect with other musicians and other drummers on a personal level because I understand them. Um, it's a part of who I am. But drumming doesn't bring me life. Video games certainly don't bring me like life or worth. Hmm. And I think it's easy to look at, and similar to the psalmist, it's easy to look at other people who maybe you look at another athlete who seems to be, the top, like, or maybe you look at a musician and like this person is a top musician, or and you or a dancer, and you look at them and like that person is like at the peak. He or she has everything. I want to be exactly like that. But that person, if they don't have Christ, has nothing. I hope that makes sense to you. Also, thank you, Sarah, for the texts. I got them. I don't know. I think this is really important because I think I liked what. Sorry, one second. I'm just gonna go back to that thing that was sent to me, and I want to stress in reading this. I'm gonna read it again, and I'll say, just because you're sad doesn't mean that you're depressed. Just because you have an anxious moment doesn't mean you have anxiety. Just because you're afraid doesn't mean that you are defined by your fear. Just because you feel insecure doesn't mean that there is anything. Just because you feel insecure, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. I want to clarify something as I say those things. I do not want to belittle or I don't want to belittle people who have legitimate anxiety or depression disorders, or like if you legitimately struggle with that, if you have anxiety attacks, if that's something that you frequently deal with, or you have just crazy bouts of depression, these seasons that you go through that are really, really debilitating and crippling, I by no means want to diminish any of that, but I do know that more and more people are so quick to say, like, oh, I'm sad, therefore I am this. Like it's almost like it's a subgroup of people that we can put in. It's like, oh, here are the anxiety people, here are the depressed people, here are the whatever. Like that's not healthy. Like we're not defined by our emotions. And if we do legitimately struggle with those things, then we need to go get help. Like we need a support system. Maybe you need to see a counselor, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I have a really good friend of mine who's seeing a counselor right now because he's just going through some stuff. He's like, you know what? I need professional help. It's like, great, awesome, do it. And he's getting a lot better. And also, Abby, you said that your second cousin or whatever has agreed to go see a counselor because of the things that she's struggling with. That's great. Anyway, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. I don't want to harp on that for too long. Kind of took a different direction a little bit, but that's okay. I think it's important. So good. All right. Well, let's move on to prayer. A lot of people doubt me even though I have medically diagnosed anxiety. Abby, I'm sorry about that. I really am. And it's because of other people. I mean, I don't want to like shift the blame on, I don't want to like push blame on people, but like because anxiety is such a widespread thing now, or maybe people think that like, oh, do you really have anxiety? Like, do you actually? It's like, yes, I do. Like, it's a serious thing, and we don't want to belittle that. So, Abby, I hope you understand what I was trying to say, and like, you know what I'm getting at. Oh man. Had one appointment with her cousin, her counselor. I decided not to do it anymore. Sarah, good. I'm glad that you don't draw your identity from that, I guess. So, sorry to hear about that. But yeah, it's a tough topic, and it's a tough issue, and a lot more people I think are legitimately struggling with it, but there are a lot of people who I think are too quick to identify themselves with it. I guess if that makes any sense. So, yeah, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Um, so let's go ahead and pray. Guys, we've been at it for about an hour. This is good. This is good stuff. Thanks for sticking with me for so long. I know I talk a lot, but I just want to. I enjoy these opportunities to share, and I enjoy these opportunities to listen to you guys and hear what you're thinking. So for this prayer, it says, write down a prayer of adoration, thanking God for being our strength, enabling us to continue through this season and life. Pray that God continues to be the strength of your heart. So this is one where it specifically says to write it down. So I'm going to go ahead and invite you guys to do that. Um, um, I'll answer those questions in a moment, Sarah. Because I also want to show you guys something too, so stick around for that. My friend Josh is working on our logo right now for the youth group, and he just sent me a couple more things, and I want to give you a sneak peek at that. So, yeah, go ahead and take a few minutes, and if you don't know what a prayer of adoration is, again, another word check for you, just to give you a proper definition. Some of you might know in general what it means, if not specifically. It says adoration is a deep love and respect or worship, but a deep love and respect. So a prayer of adoration, we kind of see it at the end of this chapter here. He starts going into, whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. My health may fail, all this. As for me, how good it is to be near God. I've been feeling that a lot this week. How good it is to just be near God. I have made the sovereign Lord my shelter, and I will tell everyone about the wonderful things you do. So it doesn't have to be that eloquent, but it's just a prayer of God. Thank you for being my strength. Thank you for being my life. I love you, and I want more of you, and just continue to deepen my desire for you and my desire to love people around me, and my thank you for delivering me from my temptations and my fear and anxiety and depression, and thank you for delivering me from and just being there for me. Thank you for being there for me when I need you. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that if you haven't already started. And then we'll get back together, and I'll answer a few questions. Sarah, I'll get to yours in a second. Yeah, go ahead and do that. What's up, Faith? Cool. Thinking of my counselor might reach out to me today. You think your counselor might reach out to you today? Is that what you mean? Cool. Faith, I'm still not sure why you're sorry, unless like you get here, you cut out and then get back on and get here late or something. Or anyway, while you're answering that, I'm going to go ahead and give a give a short prayer of closing, and then we'll get to the other things that I wanted to talk about, just the brief couple things. So let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for being our strength. Thank you for being our assurance. Thank you that we can find our identities in you. Thank you that the only label that matters is the label that we are your children, that we are your sons and daughters. I pray that we will find our identity in that and nothing else. Thank you for the psalmist and his honest expression of his struggles and his joys and sorrows, and that we can learn from them and learn how to express our feelings to you and how to pray and how to do these things. I pray that as we go throughout our day, we'll just keep you at the center of it. We ask this in your name. Amen. Cool. It's okay. So big reveal time. What were the two food items behind me in the bowl? The first is a sweet potato. Boom. Sweet potato. And the second one is an onion. So there you go. Those are the two food items that I had you guess. I'm afraid no one's getting paid today, but I will find another fun guessing game, and maybe a little more reasonable for next time. So, also, that's okay, Lindsay. Sarah, and also here is a little sneak peek at the designs for our youth group, and which is this. So those are just a few different options, and is it backwards? I think it's backwards on your screen, maybe, but it's from left to right is IXOYE is the Greek spelling of ichthus, and the O is a like a fish, because the symbol for ichthus, or the word ichthus in Greek, means fish, because the whole point was like kind of being fishers of men, right? So the O is just kind of a downward fish, and those are some ideas. So we haven't landed on a permanent one yet. I'll probably use a couple iterations of those, but I will send that out once it is completed. He and I are going to do some more work on it, and it'll be great. I'm super pumped about it. Anyway, Zoom tonight. Yes, we can Zoom. I think we should Zoom at like 7:30. Kind of similar to what we did the other night. Maybe just kind of keep it consistent. If we're going to do a Zoom in the evening, maybe like 7:30-ish. Give us a good 40 minutes to hang out. So be sure to invite your friends to that. If they don't know what Zoom is, let them know. It's an app that you download, really easy to sign up. And let's see if we can get some people to come hang out with us tonight. Also, if you guys have questions, I'm going to be working on the lesson. I might not get to all of them this lesson. I only have 2 right now. But I want to do questions for this week's lesson, like answering your guys' questions. So if you have some, send them in to me. They can be literally anything. Again, questions on faith, on the Bible, on politics, on just social things. If you want to know more about Emily and I, or our relationship, or whatever, yes, for Zoom. Sorry. 7:30. 7:30. What is my favorite food? Ooh, I'll answer that. I'll answer that one. Not right now, but I'll answer it. Cool. Continue to send me questions, and I will talk to you guys again tonight at 7:30. And I'll send out a remind right now to make sure that everyone knows. So, friends, I love you very much, and I will talk to you again soon. All right. Also, this was an hour long. Wow. Nice job. Nice job. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are great. Bye.